G-Man Boxing. Do you know what I mean? Every single live he donates. I see him on other lives donating. He's got the bag on it.
Alright people, Eddie Hearn in a recent IFL interview kind of let slip that Dimitry Bivol is getting ready to go over to America. I think he said he was going over to LA in preparation for his next fight, which we believe, and I think, although Team Alvarez have said they're kind of in negotiations on what route they're going to take, it seems likely that they're, well, for me it just makes more sense to go down the DAZN route than the PBC route. At the end of the day, both fights in PBC, I mean, the Benavidez fight is brilliant for just entertainment. The Charlo fight, meh, it's alright. But what does Canelo gain from it other than money? And Canelo Alvarez is the sort of fighter where, yeah, money is a big thing for Alvarez. He obviously wants it. I mean, he's made an absolute enormous amount of money already, but it doesn't hurt to have a few extra million, you know, just sitting around there. But with Canelo, he wants the legacy. You know, he wants to be undisputed, win these titles, pick up belts. You don't pick up a belt with Charlo. You don't pick up one with Benavidez. The Benavidez one would be still a good win, though. Whereas, let's look at the DAZN. Let's look at the DAZN deal. And let's talk about Canelo Alvarez. Literally, that DAZN deal is his road. The two-fight deal, that is his road to two-weight undisputed, if you think about it like this, right? So, Canelo Alvarez, Dimitry Bivol, if I was a betting man, I would take money out of your wallet right now and put money down that May the 7th, unless something spectacular happens, that fight's going to happen next. Alright, if I was a betting man, I would say it's Dimitry Bivol versus Canelo next. A very intriguing fight. An extremely intriguing fight, because stylistically, Dimitry Bivol, and I only realised that he's 31 years old now. It seems like he's been around. I genuinely thought he was younger than that. I thought he'd be still in his 20s. He's 31 years old now. But nevertheless, Dimitry Bivol is a tremendously talented fighter, well-schooled amateur. You know, if you look at his judge's distance, his timing, his jab, his speed, his shot selection, people will say, gee, he's not really a puncher. He's been going, well, he's not had a knockouts in Sullivan Barrera. I think that was in 2018. And I'll give you that. Yeah, he's not the biggest well, no, I say that. He's not someone who goes for the kill. He's someone who lets his boxing do the talk. I think Dimitry Bivol does have good power there. You know, we've seen that in some of the knockouts he has got. I know Barrera, he got to him late. Barrera's always been shinny anyway. But I do think there is power there for Bivol. Is it on the level of a Joe Smith? Probably not. Is it on the level of an Artur Beterbiev? Probably not. Seriously, and some people might laugh at me for saying this, but is it on the level of an Anthony Yarde? Maybe not. Like, Anthony Yarde is not on the level in terms of talent-wise, in terms of boxing abilities, Dimitry Bivol. That doesn't mean he's not a bigger puncher. I mean, there are many fighters in the heavyweight division who are much better than Deontay Wilder technically, but would you say they hit harder? Hell no. So, Bivol's power there's power there. But that timing, that speed, that jab, that judge of distance, that footwork, that against Alvarez is going to be very interesting. Having said that, with Canelo, he always gets, he's the ace side. He is always going to be the ace side. He is always going to get the rub of the green. And that's not to say Canelo versus Bivol will be a guaranteed Bivol will win, but he won't get the decision. Hell no. Canelo Alvarez is a tremendously talented fighter. He's one of the best fighters, if not the best fighters in the world right now. I don't really get into pound for pound, but he'd be up there. Put it like that. He'd be in the top three, definitely. I don't really get into pound for pound. I kind of get a bit abstract, and, you know, I don't get into that. I try not to anyway. But one of the best in the world, definitely Canelo, in terms of his skill set, his ability, his talent, and he's improved dramatically over the years. He really has. I mean, you look back to him 2013, 2014, he was a lot younger then. He's filled out a lot more, but he's improvements. You know how he cuts the ring off. His foot speed has improved slightly. It's still nice. He's never had the quickest feet, Canelo. But it's got, I think more so the fact is that he's gone up through the weights. So the actual opponent's foot speed isn't what it was at, say, 154 pounds in welterweight. Therefore, you don't notice his foot speed being as slow because he's kind of in a more of a weight where, therefore, he wouldn't be as quick as guys lower down, if you get me. But Canelo, Canelo is talented. His head movement is fantastic. His ability on the front foot is fantastic. His ability on the back foot has improved. You know, he likes it. Actually, ability on the back foot is very good. His ability on the front foot, the pressure actually encounter off the front foot is improved as well. His body punching, his combination punching, tremendously talented is Canelo Alvarez. So him versus Bivol, hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. I'd still pick Canelo, legitimately as well, to win. But I think it's an interesting fight. Obviously, Triple G would dare soon follow in September. Unless Triple G looks absolutely spectacular against Murata, I'm just taking it for what it is. As I said, it's not what it was a couple of years ago. It's a trilogy. The Zone want it. They might even put it on pay-per-view. They know it brings in the numbers. So that is what that is. Canelo Alvarez would win that fight. I don't know if Triple G is ever going to give anyone an easy night. You know, even now, but I would imagine as near as makes no difference, it'd be an easier night. Well, it'd definitely be an easier night than the first two, I'll put it like that. But then comes the question, what happens next? That's a 2-fight deal. So what happens next with Alvarez? Who would he fight? Would he stay? Would he go and chase Benavidez? Would he go up to 175? Would he take on Makabu? Well, to me, it's a no-brainer what happens next. We have, more than likely in June of this year, I think was the date they were talking about, Artur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. is the WBO World Light Heavyweight Champion. Artur Beterbiev is the IBF, the WBC World Light Heavyweight Champion. That's a unification. If Canelo beats Dimitry Bivol, he is a WBA Light Heavyweight Champion of the world. So what do you think logically is the next step for Canelo? Obviously, he's going to target the winner of the Joe Smith Artur Beterbiev fight. I reckon personally it's going to be Artur Beterbiev. I think that he has a way of breaking these opponents down. Even when he doesn't look particularly the best, like he did against that Darnish guy who he fought last year, I think this time last year, he still has a way of just breaking these guys down gradually. Yes, he's on the wrong side of 30 now, but he's lived lives a very clean life. The only issue I think is the weight, because as I said this is a guy who fought in London 2020 at heavyweight, which is cruiserweight in the amateurs. You know, fought guys like Usyk, knocked out Yorniel Dorticos. You know, I think he knocked him out. Well, he definitely stopped him. I'm not sure what round. I think he might have even knocked him out in a round or two in the amateurs anyway. So this is a guy who's operated at a higher weight in the amateurs. Now at 36, you got to wonder how much of a stress is it to get down to 175 pounds. I would imagine it's not the easiest. So Joe Smith Jr. is a pressure fighter. He's a good body puncher. He's a big puncher. So I would imagine that fight's not going to be a walk in the park by no stretch of the imagination for Artur Beterbiev, but he should get through it. The issue, and here's an interesting one, is that waiting in the wings is Anthony Yarde. Now Anthony Yarde, I think if he's not, they'll announce him as WBO mandatory. Frank Warren, Fish Eyes, has a good relationship with WBO. I reckon they'd even precedent Anthony Yarde over Alvarez, because they might just turn around and say, well, Alvarez fighting Triple G, you won't be fighting until May, maybe fight Yarde in December, January this year or start next year. Again, unless some miracle happens and Yarde wins, in which case Canelo Alvarez might actually like that because it might give us an actual show in the UK. You would imagine that Alvarez will either sit and wait, or he may have a fight in between. Now, having a fight in between might be a bit of a risk because God knows who you take, and he could potentially. Here's one thing he could do: he could potentially take on Makabu, and then go back down to the light heavyweight and fight for Undisputed. That's just me making up. That's making up. That's just me kind of thinking in a mad world that might happen. But likelihood is, if Canelo signs with the Zone for these two fights, he is a free agent. He can go where he likes. It's there. Undisputed at 2-weight is there, and in jig quick time as well. If he wins the world title off Dimitry Bivol, if he fights him in May, potentially could be May next year, Undisputed a year again. Unbelievably quick. And at light heavyweight, well, Canelo is probably, super middleweight is probably his limit in terms of how far he should go, or probably how far his natural weight is. So for him to do that at light heavyweight against guys, yes, Beterbiev, then just assume he wins. Beterbiev may be faded, but nevertheless, it's a lot more impressive beating Bivol and Beterbiev than it is beating Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and who was the other guy, Callum Smith. To me, that's a lot more impressive. So that to me seems the road for Canelo Alvarez, and it seems to make a lot of sense. 2 fights with DAZN, get an actual rake of cash, like was it 80 odd million, and then you can go to ESPN. You might even have a little in between fight on ESPN, sign a 2-fight deal or a 1-fight deal with them, because Alvarez is the guy in charge, and then you would therefore fight the winner, provided you get by Bivol, of Smith Beterbiev. And if it is Beterbiev, the Beterbiev is someone I see who could beat Canelo. I'd say out of the people around now, he's the one I would give, him and Benavidez, as the 2 most likely to beat Canelo. It's another year. It's another year potentially for Beterbiev. He ain't getting any younger. As Tunde Ajayi said, timing is everything. Timing is everything. May Canelo have gotten his timing spot on for 2-weight undisputed. Now that would be an achievement. I'm just trying to think. 2-weight undisputed in the 4-belt era. Has anyone done it, Jermaine? No. We haven't seen. Not that, unless someone wants to correct me. Usyk has a chance to do it. Canelo has a chance to do it. That's it. Who does it first? Who gets it first? That's the question. Usyk's done it at cruiserweight. Canelo's done it at super middleweight. Canelo could do it at light heavyweight. Usyk could definitely do it at heavyweight. There's only 1 fight waiting. Tyson Fury, if we can get that over the line, provided of course both of them win their respective fights coming up. There's been 2-weight undisputed. Well, it was a lot easier back in the day when there was only 1 sanctioning body. I mean, there was only 1 champion. But even in the 3-belt era, was there ever 2-weight undisputed? Probably. Someone's going to probably... I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Someone will probably correct me in the comment section and say, this fight was undisputed at this time. Holyfield. Wasn't Holyfield... Yeah, Holyfield was undisputed at cruiserweight, wasn't he? And then he was undisputed at heavyweight. Holyfield springs to mind. Unless I'm wrong. No, he was definitely cruiserweight undisputed. So Holyfield springs to mind. That was 3-weight. That was 3-belt. I'm going off on one here now. I'm talking about some completely different topic. Well, similar, but different generations and eras. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Canelo and the road to 2-weight undisputed in the 4-belt era. Let me know what you think. To me, again, signing with DAZN for these 2 fights makes the most sense. Obviously, I'm not saying they're foregone conclusions. Well, the Triple G fight maybe, but the Bivol fight's definitely not, which then leaves an opening for him to go to ESPN and to face the winner of Beterbiev versus Smith. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you think Canelo can do it. And if he did do it, if Canelo Alvarez 2-weight undisputed in the 4-belt era, super middle light heavyweight, where does that rank on your terms of achievements for a fight? Because Canelo Alvarez has done a lot in his career. I mean, he is a surefire Hall of Famer if ever there was one, and I say that with 100% degree of confidence. I mean, the guy, some people might not like him, might not agree with some of the actions he's taken, with the tainted beef and stuff like that, but one cannot deny he has done well for himself in terms of chasing the legacy fights. He has done well in crafting a legacy for himself. He wants to go down as the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. He may potentially do that. We shall see. Time will tell. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Be interested to know. If you could, lads and lassies, smash the like button. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been fun to talk about this, actually. I mean, I might do another one about maybe different fights. It's actually a fun little... So I enjoy talking about this. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy talking about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll talk to you, lads. Before I go, I want to give a big, massive shout out to a mate of mine called Nisha. She started her own company, her own business now. Have a look at the website there on screen, cvwiz.co.uk. She's also offering a promo code, which is TRIBE, where 20% off. Nisha is someone who's helped me out in the past. She's actually redone my CV and redone a cover letter for me in my current job that I do outside YouTube, which I've recently applied for a new job internally, which I was able to get thanks to this. In fact, actually, one of the comments they left was how impressed they were with the presentation of my CV and cover letter. Again, I got a big up Nisha for that. So website is there, link will be in the description, and I'll pin it in the comment section. Give our website a look at and help support these businesses that are up and coming. Peace.